As your exclusive source for Wheel of Time show updates, have I got an update for you. We got character posters yesterday, and we found out a little bit about the plot because of them. The first one that dropped was Moiraine and Lan. Lan with his back turned to her, looking over his shoulder. There's a clear disconnect between these two this season, and I can't wait to see how it plays out because Rosamund Pike and Daniel Henney are so good together, and now that there's going to be some strife, it's going to make for good television. A reminder that at the end of season 1, Moiraine was cut off from the One Power in some way, whether she be shielded or stilled. Then we got Nynaeve and Liandrin. Nynaeve is presumably going to be raised to the second tier in the White Tower during season 2. There's Novice, Accepted, Aes Sedai. It looks like Nynaeve is going to take the test for Accepted, given the trailer, and that would make sense because that's what happens in the books. Liandrin, on the other hand, last season, she had kind of a weird energy. She was a little antagonistic towards some of our characters, and she kind of looks that way in this thing, so I have a feeling that's going to continue. We have Egwene and Elaine. Non-book readers have not met Elaine yet. This is the daughter heir of Andor, who is also a novice in the White Tower with Egwene. Can't wait to get to meet her a little more personally. We haven't seen her do much in the trailers, and they had a clip at New York Comic Con where she meets Egwene, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm hoping I see it episode 1 coming on September 1st. Then we've got Rand and another new character, Selene. We meet Selene in a different way in the books than we're going to meet her in the show. Apparently, Selene is going to be an innkeeper in Carian. I'm wondering if she's going to be the innkeeper for the inn that Rand is staying in while he's in hiding. During some of the press junkets, he talked about how he shaved his head. He's basically cutting himself off from his old identity. And maybe something goes down with Selene. We'll see. This one got me exceptionally hyped. We've got Perrin, who we've met, who's got what looks like golden eyes in this image, and we have Aviendha, a member of the Aiel, who we've only briefly met in season 1, Shael the Snowfight. This is more normally dressed Aiel. From the books, we meet her in somewhat of a different way than I think we're going to meet her in the show, because they never really paired up. Aviendha and Perrin didn't. But if it means we're going to get a better introduction of Aviendha earlier, because she plays a bigger role later in the books, not in book 2, I'm fine with it, because I love the Aiel, I love Aviendha, and I'd really like to see her, Ayula Smart and Marcus Rutherford kind of play off of each other. It could be really cool. And Marcus also talked about how multiple characters this season kind of like teach him about himself. And so we're assuming that some of that has to do with his wolfiness, his connection to the wolves, but another part of it I think might have to do with how he copes with his relationship with violence, and I see that coming from Aviendha. This one was the least expected one. I thought maybe we would have Matt and Padden Fane, but we got Matt, the new Matt, Donal Finn, and Min. We met Min toward the end of season 1, but she didn't have much of a role, so I'm so curious how her and Matt are presumably going to be teaming up, maybe travel buddies heading to Falma together from the White Tower. We'll see, because we know that Matt starts in the White Tower, and we don't know where Min is at this point, so maybe she's at the White Tower too. That would align with the books pretty well because the Amerlin seat, Swan Sanche, knows about Min's abilities and sometimes takes advantage of them and kind of like takes her under her wing and uses them to her advantage. And finally, a couple bad guys. Lady Suroth, Faras as Ishamael. It sounds like he's going to have her ear, at least based on the trailer, and so he's been great so far as Ishamael, although I think he gives more... He gives a more advanced Ishamael vibe to me. Like, earlier on in the books, Ishamael was a bit unhinged, and I feel like Faras is a little more level, but I still think he's an incredibly compelling villain, and I can't wait to see the Shan-Chan and what they do more in this season, because we only got a glimpse of them last season. Which poster was your favorite? I am so pleased with the character posters from this year. You have no idea. The Min one shocked me. The Perrin and Aviendha one got me absolutely hyped. The Selene one, and the stuff about her being an innkeeper got me really curious. And just seeing Elaine is super fun. I'm super happy Liandrin's getting some love because Kate Fleetwood playing her is exceptional. And the dynamic between Moiraine and Lan here, I can't wait to see it in action.